All right, so I got till 2. I just postponed the call till 2. Let's go, gentlemen. Let's talk about. So, put your headphones on.
What is this? I don't know what the fuck we're doing.
We're just talking, man. Let's just talk.
So recently, as you saw it there.
I forgot. Be right back. Trust me.
I don't know if I can do this anymore, guys. I'm sorry. It's been good.
Good run.
But this is fucking killing me.
So let's talk right now before he jumps back in, Dave.
Yep.
Like, what the fuck are we dealing with here? How would you describe him as a human being? No, really.
I describe him as...
Not derogatory, like straight up. How would you describe him?
A 38-year-old, 16-year-old.
So a 16-year-old mentality in a 36-year-old,
38-year-old
body.
You see the grays on his hair? He ain't fucking 36.
With a brilliant mind. Definitely very, very smart guy. But, I mean, very, very backward socially. He's probably... I actually think he's around 12 years old socially.
Let's go. Right. Let's go.
You pegged that fucking description perfect. You know what we just described you as? A 16-year-old in a 38-year-old body.
Hey, everybody. Welcome down.
What is that?
Goggles.
Like ski goggles?
Yeah, man. Coronavirus free. It gets in your eyes now. Everyone's going to have to wear eye goggles.
I heard it's also an STD now.
It is.
Sexually transmitted disease. You can get it having sex.
That's the only
And I
one
will give Rob one thing of credit here. 3 months ago, he asked if it was, and it was.
No. What he said is, let me ask you a question. If you're having sex and one of you has the coronavirus and the other one transmits it to the other person, is that classified as a STD? And the answer is yes, absolutely. Now it is officially in the CDC. It is an STD. The coronavirus is listed as an STD.
I was down at the beach last weekend. I went into a CVS. I brought the stuff I was buying up to the counter. I swear to God, the girl, I put it on the counter, and the girl looks at me. She's like, "Can I help you?" I'm like, "Can I check out?" What do you mean, can you help me?
I don't know. Can you?
Number one, I don't smoke. Number two, they don't even sell cigarettes anymore. So
Who doesn't?
CVS.
They don't?
No, they went that whole like health conscious thing where all they sell is
All they sell is drugs.
I mean, it's probably smart that a pharmacy...
Hit the record button. We're going live, baby. Fuck the noise.
That a pharmacy is not selling cigarettes. Pharmacy is there to get you better, and cigarettes are there to kill you.
Oh, it's also it's a convenience store with a pharmacy in it.
That's a great point.
Yeah, it is a convenience store.
That's so they won't do you know
what does CVS stand for? Does anyone know what CVS stands for?
Evan's pulling it up.
Evan, you can pull it up.
Consumer value store.
There you go, convenience store.
Go.
Consumer
For
value
your convenience.
Store. I was actually in CVS today. And I was buying a
Lube.
Vaseline.
actually very similar, and you guys are gonna laugh, but someone in the house right now has a very, very large hemorrhoid. So I bought a hemorrhoid suppository for somebody today. So technically, it is lube.
Oh.
Technically.
And all our fans out there, let us know in the comments below. Do you have any issues with your hemorrhoids?
Too.
How do you take care of them?
Water-based?
Preparation H, right?
I thought you were supposed to get them cut off or something.
Yeah,
right?
suppository hemorrhoid. What is it, like a tablet?
Preparation H. You stick it up your ass. It's like,
But it's liquid, right? Or
no,
is
it's not liquid. It's like a hardened salve or whatever they call that.
Salve.
SALVE, whatever. Salve.
Whoa.
How do you pronounce that word, Evan?
What?
Salve.
What's he, an English
Salve.
teacher? How does he
Salve.
How do you spell it?
Hardened salve. So actually, I mean, technically, it's almost anal sex. Think about it. It's
No.
It's almost anal sex without the penis.
It's almost anal sex. No, it's almost anal sex. It's almost like Rob having anal sex with someone. I'll tell you what. It's almost like Rob having anal sex because
you can't feel it.
It's a small, very narrow, elongated object that goes into your rear end. So that's what the girls told me, that it's like having anal sex with Rob. Suppository.
She said it.
You're a suppository, Rob.
My goggles keep falling off. How do you adjust this? Wait a minute. How is there pretzels in here?
There's pretzels in your goggles.
Nah, it's onions. It's probably Alex.
Onions.
Alex. Yeah.
The kid's eating onions now.
Can you adjust that, man? Can you make it tighter?
I ain't touching that shit.
What? What do you mean touching? It's a hat, dude. What are we doing here?
Get hair dye over my hands. Nah, you haven't
How
done that in a
great is
while.
this, man?
Yeah, you haven't done that in a while.
I should be the spokesperson.
Well, guys, the host of our show is currently texting, so we'll be right back.
After this commercial break, take it away, Evan.
Rob, I just want to ask you a
Let's-
question to get started. How many
Pre-workouts did you have
caffeine
today?
Stimulants did you have today? And we're both thinking the same
Yep.
thing. How many caffeine stimulants did you have today?
I love these things. You can't see my eyes. It's phenomenal.
You're like the kid from Big Daddy where you're invisible if you have the sunglasses.
Yeah, you can't see me if
know
these
what?
sunglasses are
That's
on.
probably part of
You
his
get out of your bubble.
Yo, wait a second. He's outside of his social awkwardness right now.
Yeah.
He's actually being really cool because nobody
It's
can
really
see his
cool.
eyes.
That's right. You can't see what's going on.
Wow.
Nah, just one. Just one energy. Yeah.
When?
100 milligrams. 25 minutes ago.
When you're upset.
So it's kicking in right now.
Yeah. It's
What were you doing upstairs while we were waiting for you since
well,
last 3
this,
hours?
this weekend I'm going away on vacation. I'm taking the family down the shore. It's also Father's Day, and my girlfriend's birthday is next weekend.
Is your dad
So
going with you?
He's coming down Sunday, I think.
Cool.
We'll see.
Got a house?
We'll see. Yeah.
So let's talk about you being a father,
me.
Rob. Are you sure you're a father?
Next. Keep it
So I want to get back to the suppository preparation H or the hemorrhoid stuff. I didn't know that existed.
So
I knew there was cream that you put on that area.
So there's cream, there's Tux medicated pads, there's medicated pads put in there, but some people have hemorrhoids actually inside their anal, I guess it would be called.
It's a
Anus.
anus.
Inside their anus.
Thank
And
you.
what they
Their
do,
anal.
what doctors do to really get rid of them is they do a couple things. They can either cut them off, they can either freeze them, or what they do a lot is they put a rubber band around
Yeah,
it really,
yeah,
really
I've
tight,
seen that.
and then they cut
Well,
off
I haven't seen it.
the blood circulation, and then it falls off.
When you say fall
Now
off,
imagine.
what
So
is
let's
a
get back to
hemorrhoid?
anal
literally
sex.
it's just
Let's get back
what
to
is a
anal
hemorrhoid?
sex.
yeah,
It's basically like a swollen piece of your
tissue.
yeah.
It's from
basically-
strain. It's from strain. So if you're straining, either going to the bathroom, if you're
Mm-hmm.
lifting weights straining, you're having a child straining. Those are the three major causes of hemorrhoids.
Mm.
All right, so this is actually good that everybody gets to see this because when we try to have meetings and get stuff done, this is what happens. Senior's on his phone the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, as you're steering this fast-moving ship that I'm steering, you get messages and you have to answer them right away because things are very time-sensitive in what I'm doing. And if I don't get back to people in an expedited manner, a lot of times that offer, that contract, or that situation will expire and will become void, and I'm going to miss the opportunity. And that could be some of the positives of what I do, and it could absolutely be some of the negatives because I think I'm going to miss an opportunity sometimes, and I jump on my phone, and I'm really missing the opportunity that's in front of me, like having fun with you guys.
Inspector Gadget over here. Get this message within 10 seconds. It's going to explode. All right, Inspector. We
All
get
right,
you.
so we have a card coming up, July 24th.
Hey, now.
And you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, again, we talked a little bit about it in the past out how hard it was, how difficult it is really navigating through this everything that's going on with coronavirus and COVID-19 pandemic, and how things are opening, things are closing. They're not sure if they're going to open. What we're running into, the hardest thing that we're running into right now is actually finding venues. So what's happening is the venues are available. Obviously, there's nothing going on, right? So they're empty. They're available.
Sure.
But they're not bringing the staff back. Because if they bring the staff back, you have to pay them. You bring them off unemployment, and then you lay them off. You got to put them back on unemployment. So it's not worth it to them to do a show with no fans. They're not going to make any concession money. They're not going to make any beverage money. There's just nothing they can do.
They got to make money.
That's been our biggest obstacle up to this point.
Second biggest obstacle.
Well, with that being said, we found a venue.
Wow.
We are about 45 minutes outside of Memphis, Tennessee. Is it Oxford?
Yep, Oxford, Mississippi.
Oxford, Mississippi. We're in Oxford, Mississippi, the home of Ole Miss. and we found a venue there.
And a big shout out to all 10 people that live there.
It fits 4,000 people. It fits 4,000 people, and right now we're approved at 25% attendance, and it looks like it's going to get bumped up to 50. So we look like we're probably going to have about 2,000 people rocking the house on July 24th in Oxford, Mississippi for BKFC 11. That card is not going to be announced yet because we are, again, doing another pivot because we are now going to be broadcasting on a new platform. As everybody knows, that has been...
Don't tell them yet.
Okay.
Don't tell them yet.
But as everybody knows...
We'll tell them at the end of the podcast. Everyone stay tuned.
I'm not going to tell them yet.
Announcement.
But as everybody knows, we've been on pay-per-view platform.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worked. It's worked to get us where it is. And now we moved up to what we feel is bigger and better things. And we are going to have a partnership to announce here. A streaming platform partner to announce that I think is doing really, really big things, and I think it's going to help our brand grow. So I'm super, super excited to announce that. And with that being said, again, we had to make some alterations in the card, and we're going to announce that on Monday, and it's going to be an amazing fight card for BKFC 11 coming out of the pandemic and coming into a card like this with a partnership like this at a venue like this in good old Mississippi, who really gave us a shot from the beginning. So far, we've promoted more shows in Mississippi than we have anywhere else. So, it's kind of like a home away from home for us.
Yeah, they seem to be great partners all around.
They are. I mean, it's, in this business, you work with two types of people. You work with people that want to try to get things done, and you work with people that want to try to stop you from getting things done. And John Lewis, hats off to you, my man. You help us get things done.
Shout out to John Lewis.
And really everybody in Mississippi, man, they just great fans. They want to see great fights, and the fighters from Mississippi really come out to fight. So I'm super excited to be in Oxford, Mississippi. Oxford is the first time we're going to be there. Oxford, Mississippi on Friday night, July 24th on our new streaming platform partner that we will announce shortly. We have a great event coming up Friday night, July 24th in Oxford, Mississippi. And with that event, as always, we're putting on 8 to 10 great, tremendous, competitive bare-knuckle fights that you're definitely going to get your money's worth there. You're going to be sitting on the edge of your seat. But what we're doing also, Rob, is we're going to be adding a lot of the fun factor in now. We're going to do like fan interaction stuff.
Whoa. Let me cut it off right now. Let's give away, hopefully everything moves forward. We don't have any issues. We get the A-OK approval. Everything moves, flawlessly.
Are you looking at me?
I am looking at you.
Okay.
But I want to give away some tickets. Can I give away some tickets?
Well, you know what I want to do? I want to, as you know, in this little family of me, you, and Junior, that I'm a one-upper with you guys. So I'm going to one-up you.
Okay.
I want to bring 2 fans, and I want to fly them into Oxford, Mississippi. I want to give them a hotel, and I want to give them VIP treatment.
Nice.
I want 2 people that have been really affected by this pandemic. You either lost your job, you lost someone, you were affected by the virus yourself. Give us a good story. Go on to which platform do you want them to send it to?
Well, I mean, we're going to be putting this on YouTube. We're going to be putting this on Facebook.
So drop the comment below.
How about this? Yeah, so subscribe to the YouTube channel and drop a comment on this video.
Tell us your story.
Drop the comment, and if you have a story that moves us, really, truly moves us, no bullshit. Don't put some crap on there. Put some real stuff on there that's really going to move us, and we're going to get you, get you happy. We're going to get you out of whatever situation you're in right now, and we're going to bring you out to the fights, man. You're going to have a great time at these fights. You're going to see them live. We're going to let you meet all the fighters. And just so everybody knows that we are practicing every type of safety precaution that is mandated to us, and then some. We are coronavirus testing every one of the staff members, every one of the fighters, every one of the seconds, cornermen, the referees, anything that has to do with the fight. They're all going to be coronavirus tested. Everybody will have their temperature taken at the entrance of the facility, the fans. So, and they're going to be spaced out. So
social
you can be in
distancing,
groups
the
of
whole
10.
nine, yep.
You can be in groups of 10 if you're coming in groups of 10 or less, and then those groups will be separated by either a row back or a couple seats over. So you're 6 feet over. So we're practicing all the social distancing guidelines that are mandated.
Awesome.
Doing everything that we're supposed to do. That being said, I want 2 fans. I want everybody to drop their story. Give us a good story. Give us a hardship. Give us a great story, what you did for someone. give us something that happened during this coronavirus pandemic, and we're going to fly you and your friend out to Oxford, Mississippi, actually Memphis, Tennessee, then we're going to drive you over to Oxford, Mississippi. We're going to give you a hotel room, and we're going to give you 2 VIP tickets, the whole entire VIP
tickets,
experience.
hotel, flights, accommodation.
And if you're lucky, we'll let you hang out with Rob for about 10 minutes and see if you don't kill him.
No, you will. You
You
will.
have to wear masks at the event too.
Yeah, let's talk about.
so
Do you know what the
that's-
policy on
Right now, from
facial
what I
coverings?
heard, so this week, so kids started going back to school at Ole Miss, and apparently,
Oh, did they?
If they did, so they brought some cases with them.
I'm sure the
Limited
parents needed
cases.
that.
Yeah, limited cases. But if that didn't happen, they would have been out of masks this week. So now they're talking about 2 weeks, no more masks. It was like when I say kid, like maybe 2 or 3 cases came in,
Well,
and they were
now
immediately
providing
isolated.
BKFC masks that you can purchase.
Yep, BKFC masks. We're going to.
Well, actually, what we're doing is, yes, so every fan also in attendance that I forgot to mention, we are getting BKFC masks made. They're already being produced right now.
Yep.
And we are giving them to each and every fan that buys a ticket or that comes through that door to this event. They're going to get a BKFC mask. You know, we're going to practice everything that we're supposed to practice. We're going to brand at the same time. And we're giving back to the fans. I mean, look, the fans, the fighters, us. All of us, we've been through a tough time this past, an unprecedented time that we've never seen before. And I know one of you told me yesterday you didn't like that word unprecedented, but it's an unprecedented time. It really, truly is that we were, whether it was warranted or not, and I don't want to get into the political stuff right now, but we were stuck in our house. I mean, when in your history were you ever stuck in your house for 3 months where you really weren't allowed to go out and do things? That being said,
Big shout out to all the felons out there that have been locked up abroad.
2 fans,
Uncle Jerry.
2 fans with a great story. Drop it in the comment below, and we're going to pick you to come out to Oxford, Mississippi, and watch one hell of a night of fights. Enjoy this firsthand. Get stuff off your mind and enjoy yourself. And all the fans that are in attendance that buys tickets to this fight will get a BKFC mask.
Awesome. And I'm going to swipe 5 tickets from Dave as supplemental prizes for those that don't take first place. So I'm going to grab some tickets. Make sure to drop us some comments. I'm going to be reading them. Dave's going to be reading them. Dave Jr. is going to be reading them. So you got a story. It's a good one. You know, you're going to get a full VIP treatment for the weekend. Can't beat that.
Let's talk about a fight or two on that card already that I have.
Okay.
We are doing a Bare-Knuckle Fighting Championship, World Championship fight on that card. One of our
Sorry, go ahead.
that have been on the bare-knuckle scene undefeated. You know, really emerging as a great fighter in
We should
the bare-knuckle fighting championship. Who are the undefeated fighters in bare-knuckle fighting championship that could be fighting for a world championship?
fans
Who
know?
are they? Because one of them already is a champion. That's Johnny Bedford.
Yeah,
okay.
undefeated.
Yep.
So who's the other one? Who's the other undefeated guy that deserves a world championship shot?
Jim Allers.
Jim Allers.
135.
Is that what we're talking
I
about?
didn't
Jim
say
Allers is
135.
the biggest
I think you said Johnny
135.
No, I just said Johnny Bedford was already a champ. He's one of the undefeated guys.
I got you.
So Johnny Bedford is our champ, and I actually just talked to him today, and he wants to actually move up in weight if he has to, and you know he wants to be champ. So you know we're going to see what happens with that. But what we are doing is we started the tournament for the 155-pound tournament, and because of things again, we talked about this earlier. We have to make pivots, right? We pivot.
Yep.
When things happen, we don't back up. We just pivot. So what we're doing is we're pivoting in this tournament instead of doing quarterfinal, semifinal, final. What we're going to do here is we're going to do the 155-pound junior middleweight BKFC World Championship, Jim Allers versus a guy that really came out storming, and he won his first tournament fight in Fort Lauderdale, February 15th, Luis Palomino.
Baboon.
That is a knockdown, drag-out fight. That's
If
gonna
that
be an
gets past the
amazing
first
fight.
round,
They
you
used to-
surprise the hell out
They
of
were
me. I'll tell
training
you that.
partners at one point.
They did train. Yep, they did train together. You know, I mean, how could the fans look at that? That's how Jim Allers comes out smoking, man. I mean,
That guy's
really,
100. He reminds me. He will be the ultimate warrior of bare knuckle fighting championship.
Sure.
If you ran to the ring 100 miles an hour, that guy is nonstop.
So when we started this, you know, we designed the ring, as you can see there, with the toe of the line. And the toe of the line was, so the fights would happen at close quarters, obviously. Jim Allers was the first guy really, except for Reggie Barnett in the first fight, did jump off the line and crack Travis Thompson with a good shot. But
he became one of my favorites since that fight.
But Jim Allers kind of
And
trademarked this move of jumping off the line. As soon as he says knuckle up, bang! Within a half a second, he's cracking someone in the mouth, and he really uses that great. And Luis Palomino looks sensational. I mean, do you remember that fight? He fought Elvin Brito. Do you remember it or not?
Of course.
Elvin
He
Brito
was cracking him with
Elvin's
body
a tough
shots that I've been in boxing my whole life, and I was going, how are his ribs not broken? It was
Put a
crazy.
heavyweight down.
It was
Put a
unbelievable.
heavyweight down.
So Luis Palomino, and then he did his trademarked spinning hook, because he wasn't a
I
spinning
think
back fist.
it was an attempt.
It was a spinning. He spun as if he was doing a spinning back fist and turned over a left hook. Man, it was just an amazing move. This guy's an amazing personality as well. He actually holds a win over
Masvidal.
Street Jesus.
Really?
Street
Yeah.
Jesus.
He holds a win over Street
Where did he
Jesus.
fight Masvidal? What promotion?
I think it was.
PFL?
Can you look it up?
He
I
fought
think
Gaethje in
I think it was PFL, but he holds a win over Jorge Masvidal. So I mean, if he beat Jorge Masvidal, the dude can fight, right?
Yeah.
And now he's fighting Jim Allers for the championship.
I know it was World Series of Fighting.
July. Well, that is PFL.
PFL now, right?
That is PFL. He is fighting Jim Allers for the World Championship. I am so excited about that match, and I think that truly,
That's gonna
now
be
with the
solid.
team that we're putting together internally, a star will be born from that fight either way. With a great fight and how we're going to help build these guys now and really help them market themselves, a star will be born from that fight. That's going to be a great fight on this card.
Yeah, the Finn's going to win out either way on that. Whoever becomes victorious.
Yeah, it's two conflicting styles too. I mean, Jim Allers has more of the, I guess, MMA stand-up, if you want to call it. Just kind of comes right at you and just smothers you with punches. And Palomino's a little more calculated and a little more of a boxer.
And I love how the sport has been evolving since Bare-Knuckle 1 to where we're at today. And you see the evolution of how some of the fighters have adapted. Some are sprinters. Some take their time. Others pick their shots. And it's really great. Some utilize the clinch more.
Well, what's funny, what you said about the sport growing. It's not just BKFC growing. The sport's growing. There's other promotions that came out with events that they were promoting. There's people overseas that are doing it. And there's a new league coming up that's going to be doing some smaller shows all across the country that I heard. And, hopefully they can be affiliates of us. And we're going to, they're going to be doing monthly shows or bi-monthly shows. So Bare-Knuckle is blowing up.
That's
Not
awesome.
just BKFC, Bare-Knuckle is
As a
blowing
sport
up. As
across
a
the
sport,
world.
It's amazing. It's amazing sitting here for all these years and you guys going, yeah, okay, Dave, yeah, okay, Dave, yeah, okay, Dave. And then all of a sudden it happened, and it happened fast. It was awesome.
Well, I know the college kids will love it.
Any other fights confirmed?
I think the college kids.
I thought that joke would
love
go
it.
over a lot
Nah.
better than that.
So,
Hey man, that's something we throw against the wall. Sometimes we throw shit against the wall. Sometimes it sticks. Sometimes you guys tear us apart in the comments. But this is what we do. We're gonna put some content out there. We're gonna put some fun stuff together. If it works, it works. Let us know if you want to see more.
So let me ask you a question. You know Phil Baroni, right?
The badass,
The New York badass.
New York badass.
What do you think about bringing him into BKFC? He's so. Let me preface it by telling you that he went through some problems with some substances.
Sure,
He was doing some things he shouldn't have done.
as a lot of people do.
Did.
And we all have our demons.
He is now living, training, and living correctly and training his ass off at Jackson Wink in New Mexico.
Did not know
And
that. Okay.
He has been reaching out to us left and right, and he wants to be a part of BKFC. And I think that he had a fight against Chris Leben on another bare-knuckle organization. He got knocked out very, very fast. I don't think he was living right. I know he wasn't living right. I know he wasn't training right, and he took it for the pay.
I saw
Now
the
he
fight.
says
I saw
he-
the fight. Well, I was not impressed.
Yeah.
Not impressed by any stretch.
So-
He looked off, whatever that might mean.
But the old what's his name?
New York badass. Phil Baroni.
I'm just kidding. The old Phil Baroni.
Well,
Coming
no,
back.
it's if he's
if
made
it-
a transition to a new team and he's
A Phil Baroni that's living
and
right
he's focused
and training right.
Oh, he's
can be a
deadly.
And
force.
if you see the
Sure.
pictures he's been putting on Twitter, he's ripped up. He's training.
He's shredded.
He's-
So
he
what
looks
do you,
the best he ever
What
has.
do you think about bringing him in?
What
Why
weight does he
not?
want to fight at now?
He's going to fight at 170, 175.
Okay.
He fought Chris Leben at 195.
195,
I was going to say, I thought he was a little bit
He was
heavier
smaller.
than that.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
20 pounds heavier.
You know, we're looking at bringing him in on the on July 24th.
If he's at a good place and we can
Who do you think would be a good opponent for him that we have?
At 170?
170
170, 175.
depends
You
on
know,
how,
we also signed a couple of guys that haven't fought yet too.
Yeah.
Like for instance, well, let's talk about some of the guys we have first on our roster. I mean,
Yeah, we'll get back to you, Phil.
So, you know, we did recently, but before the pandemic, right before the February 15th fight in Fort Lauderdale, we signed Thiago Alves. Thiago Alves, Pitbull, is a tremendous fighter. He's been with the UFC for a long time. He's built up one hell of a reputation. And, you know, we signed him. He wants to fight at, coincidentally, 170, 175.
I'm not sure. If I put them two and, both of them at the top of their game,
There's Phil Baroni now. This is Instagram.
Wow, he looks
How old is
sensational.
he?
He's
Baroni?
41, 42.
Is he? Baroni.
he's definitely taking his Flintstone vitamins, that's for sure.
Well, speaking of Phil Baroni, let's talk about one of our good friends, one of our great fighters, Chris Leben. He announced on YouTube, Facebook, that he's
He
going
did a
to
YouTube post.
YouTube post.
He's going to be hanging him up.
Yeah, you know, I talked to Chris, and I actually had some people in the office, and I kind of rushed him off the phone just a little bit accidentally. Rob got really pissed at me. He said, "How could you do that to a legend like Chris Leben?"
Love
and
Chris.
I
He's my
said,
man.
"Look, man," I said, "I just had people in front of me. I didn't want to talk business with them. I'm talking to Chris actually tomorrow. He's definitely going to remain on the BKFC team.
Oh,
100%.
okay.
Yeah, he's
Didn't
gonna-
hear that.
He's going to stick with us.
Awesome.
We're going to try to use him to really be an ambassador for this sport and for BKFC, and I think he could absolutely do that. He made some great transitions in life. He repaired himself. He had a bad heart condition. He repaired himself by living right, eating right, and training right. And he got past his addiction. He had a really bad addiction problem, and for the past 2 years he's been clean. And I think he's going to be a great addition to our family as far as helping us move this sport completely forward, not just as a fighter, not as a fighter anymore at all, but as an ambassador, as someone that is really made his mark in combat sports. I think that Chris Leben is going to really help us move forward a little bit. What are your thoughts on Chris?
That's phenomenal. I know that he was reffing out in California, I'm going to say,
Yep.
or in that area.
MMA in California.
He was doing some reffing out there, so I heard him, commentating on a couple of fights, and I'd love to see him do either or both. That's obviously something that you and him need to discuss moving forward, but him being still part of the family is awesome. How could you not like that guy? I mean, he's a legend. He's got more heart than any 10 fighters combined out there.
And he's just a nice guy on top of it.
is.
He's a really nice guy. He's a family man now. I don't know what his past was, but he's a family man. I always see pictures of him on social media with his kids out in the doing nature things, and all the guys in the gym at the arena that he trains with tell me that he's an awesome training partner. He's an awesome mentor. So, and just
Do you remember how we found him? Not how we found him, but how we reached out to him.
How was it?
Do you remember, Rob?
I do.
Rob hit him up on Twitter, and I remember we called him up. And he was like, "Nah, I'm not really interested." Then I think he called back.
Yeah,
Right.
we called him out of the blue,
Yep.
just to see, like, hey, let's take a shot.
And he wasn't interested. He's like,
No, he
"Nah, I'm
wasn't.
done fighting. I'm refereeing. It's not really what I'm into anymore." And I think you were like, "Yeah, let's send him. We're gonna send you some videos. Take a look. This is what we're doing." It was right after the first show. I think we had just done Cheyenne.
Yep.
And then
See if it's
after
something
that,
that
he
he
called back.
interested
He's like, "Yeah, let me in. I want in."
Well, I mean, speaking about guys that Rob reached out to, sporadically on social media, one of them is a guy I'd love to get over here. He's now unsigned by the UFC. Hasn't fought in about a year, or maybe even a little longer than a year. One of the hardest punchers in the history of mixed martial arts. Who is it, Rob?
A couple people come to mind.
Does not live in America.
Does he live down under?
Close to it, maybe.
He lives close
Are you talking
to
about
down
Mark
there.
Hunt?
I am talking about Mark Hunt. I would love to get Mark Hunt over. When we posted the
I
offer,
feel sorry for whoever his first opponent is. I mean, he's not even signed, I don't think, unless you're going to say that you're
he's
signed.
no. He's not signed at all.
Okay.
We're not even talking to him. It's
Okay.
just someone I think I've been thinking
Well, Mark,
about.
if you're
a lot
listening
lately.
out there, we'd love to have you. We'd love to continue that conversation. You know, David's here, and please reach out to us if you're still interested. You know, I've reached out to him.
But I mean,
whatever, year and a half ago.
imagine one of those overhand rights that he throws, Mark Hunt,
fuck that.
cracking somebody with a bare-knuckle. I mean, and his hand is a brick. It's a brick.
It is. It's like a catcher's mitt. How do you get hit with that?
Some of them girls that you dated in your past looks like they've eaten brick sandwiches.
Oh,
but
dude.
this guy's got a brick.
They would give the best massages, though. It's like, oh, fuck, man. Do you really want to keep him around? Like, all right, keep going.
Is that Mark Hunt?
Yep. Here he comes.
Marky Mark.
Oh, that's a boxing match, or is that MMA? Boxing.
No.
Or
Is it?
kickboxing?
Yeah, I think he did a stint in K1.
Does it say
didn't
what?
he?
Is it? It looks like K1.
Wow, dude, that dude can crack.
Man, he's old school, man.
Look at
He's
this.
back in
There he
the
is.
K1 Pride
Oh,
days.
that's
It's not K1.
Yeah, but it's kickboxing.
Yeah.
Damn. Imagine Mark Hunt versus Mike Tyson.
I was gonna say that you were talking about who would want to get hit by Mark Hunt. Who the hell would want to get hit by even 53-year-old Mike Tyson?
Nobody. So let's talk about some other guys. What do you think of
Well, do you have any other announcements for the card? Anybody else that you're thinking?
I don't have any firm announcements until next week's show because I want to lock everything up and secure this deal and make sure everything is exactly the way we think it is. And then I think when we announce this card, people are going to be very, very happy with the card that we're going to announce. Now let's talk about one of our other friends that was at our February 15th event. Big fan of what we do. Actually wants to fight for us. He just recently he was riding his bicycle in Brazil and he got hit by a car. He's a great guy, and I think he's absolutely a legend, and he wants to fight again. And we're talking about some potential opponents that would be Vanderlei Silva.
I am the biggest Vanderlei fanboy ever. When I first
Who would you like to see Vanderlei Silva fight?
The man down the street. I don't care. Put anybody in the ring with this guy, dude. I'm about it. That guy just swings for the fences, man. I mean, when I first saw his old fight videos, his shoot box, I think it was ungloved shoot box back in the day. It was mostly palm strikes. And then in his Pride days, I mean, this guy scares me today, man. Who would want to step in the ring with him?
So, I don't know. Maybe Vitor Belfort would want to.
Ooh.
They've been going at it on social.
Are they?
Yeah.
What kind of fight would that be?
Well,
Who would win that fight? Who would win a Vitor Belfort, Vanderlei Silva bare-knuckle fight? Stand up only.
Well,
Boxing,
Vitor got the
essentially.
best of him the first time.
Yeah.
I don't think they fought a second. Please.
When was the last
Correct
time
me if I'm
Vitor
wrong.
fought?
How did Vitor beat him?
Oh, dude, his strikes. He ran him to the corner.
Did he knock him out?
He
Did he
ran him
knock
to
him
the
out?
corner.
He did.
I don't know if it was a knockout, but he punched. He
I
landed
think
probably
they
like
jumped it. I think the ref stopped it.
15 unanswered shots.
And Vitor is signed with one championship, I believe.
Is he?
I believe he is, but
So his last fight was for UFC 224, May 12th, 2018, and he announced his retirement after the fight.
who did he
Who was
fight?
his last fight?
He fought Lyoto Machida. He was knocked out by a front kick.
Yeah, kick to the face.
1 minute of the second round.
Dude, karate kick to the face, man.
How do you think Machida would do with bare knuckle?
That will be interesting, man. He comes from a very traditional karate background and style.
Let me ask you another question.
So I think the strikes, if he doesn't have to worry about getting taken down.
I mean, talk about a legend tournament. As I'm just thinking about this and talking about this, as we just mentioned, Tito Ortiz. I mean, that's the next name. There he is.
There it is.
Huh?
Cat's out the
As
bag.
we just mentioned, Vanderlei Silva. As we just mentioned, Vitor Belfort. Imagine.
Machida.
Machida, Chris
Legends.
Leben. Imagine Tito Ortiz getting in the mix.
Our buddy Chael.
Chael, man. Chael's an awesome guy, man. I really like that guy. He's been a really great friend of us, and a fan of us, and just a really good dude, man. I really like him. I actually texted him the other day, and we never followed up with the phone call. I said, you got time for a phone call? And he said, always got time for you. And we didn't get to catch up, but I'm definitely going to catch up with him either today or tomorrow. And I just want to, shoot the breeze with him and see what's on his mind. But
Well, save that for the next time we chat.
Yeah, no,
I'd love to hear,
absolutely.
where he's at and, what you guys discuss. And I'm sure the fans do too.
So, fans, who do you want to see? If Vanderlei Silva was to fight for BKFC, who would you like to see him fight? Drop a comment below. Let us know who you would like to see Vanderlei Silva fight in BKFC.
Our current roster, and you can check out the current
Anybody.
roster.
Anybody that's unsigned. Obviously, if you know they're signed, we're not trying to bother other promotions. If they're unsigned, and you know they're unsigned, or they're with us, drop a comment below, drop their name below, and let's see if we can get an overwhelming response for one name or one particular name or a couple different names, and maybe we'll pick that guy.
Check out our roster at www.bare-knuckle.tv today.
Yep, absolutely. So,
Or give us your fantasy fight. Let us know.
well, what's your fantasy fight?
Dude,
What's your fantasy bare knuckle fight?
I always, you always see on Facebook or social media, would you let so-and-so punch you in the face for $100,000? And immediately like, wow, that's pretty great money. Take a step back. I'm like, how much would I risk to get punched in the face as hard as they can from a Vanderlei Silva or a Mike Tyson? I don't think I could do that. There would have to be some serious money because I know my jaw is getting wired for the next 6 to 9 months. So that would be something very. I'd have to talk it over with the family and put a will together.
Well, good thing they can't say it because you're wearing goggles.
And
Yes.
So
we're
good there.
talking about boxers getting in, boxers, Mike Tyson, a legend, one of the best that ever did it, that ever laced up gloves. And we made him an offer to take his gloves off, and, it didn't go our way. But it's okay.
Took a shot.
It's okay.
Took
Mike
a
Tyson's
shot,
a great,
an offer, and-
great fighter, and he's trying to be a great human being now.
Hopefully we can get him out to a couple of shows.
Someone else that we've been talking to, what about I think it was 1992, 1988 Olympic silver medalist, world champion at the 154-pound weight division, world champion at the 160-pound weight division, world champion at the 168-pound weight division, world champion at the 175-pound weight division, and world champion at heavyweight. Roy Jones Jr. What do you think about Roy Jones Jr. fighting Baroni?
Should have been a gold medalist also.
He should have.
he got robbed.
He won that. He got robbed.
That was in Korea.
Moscow, right? Oh,
No,
Korea?
it was in. I think it was in Korea.
I think it was in South Korea. I think you're absolutely right about that. It may have
was
been
Korea. It was Korea.
What do you think about Roy Jones Jr. fighting Bare-Knuckle?
Hey, listen, I love Roy Jones Jr. Watching him box was a thing of work in his heyday. I think he took the sport a little bit longer, meaning that I think he should have, tapped out or, gracefully pieced out of the sport before he should have. Do I think that he should get into a bare-knuckle fighting championship at his age? I don't know. To be completely honest, I love him. I love him as a fighter, and I remember him as a great fighter.
Well, let's say that. Yeah, but Rob, let's say he's going to be fighting someone around his age. Look, I talked to Roy Jones's people, and they said that he's in the best shape he's been in 10 years. Here was his thing. He was traveling every single
Don't doubt
week.
it at all.
He's been confined, as we all been confined right now, and he's trained his ass off for the past 3 months.
Yeah, I feel like you come out one of two ways after quarantine. Either look like Rob or you look like Phil Baroni.
You put on 20 pounds or you put on 20 pounds of good eating.
So, what would you think? Let me just shoot a match out to you. Let me think if I was to say Roy Jones Jr. is going to fight Vanderlei Silva bare knuckles. You intrigued by that?
Nah, I'm not sure, man. I don't know. I love Roy Jones Jr. I think Vanderlei has a couple more fights in him. I think he has more fights in him than maybe Roy Jones Jr. Just because of, I don't want to go down that road of what's a safer sport, boxing, MMA. But, the amount of punches.
What's the safest combat sport you know, Rob?
No combat. That's the only safest sport, is you don't get struck,
You're fired.
Yeah. I'm not.
It's funny though, because now as we're also upcoming on the 1 year anniversary of Artem versus Paulie, MMA fighters have dominated boxers in BKFC.
It's crazy.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Well, Jamie
think-
Campbell was a professional boxer.
He
and
was.
He had some really great moves. And
Jamie Campbell had a rough weight cut against Joey Beltran.
Yeah, I
think
mean,
that would
I
have been a
wouldn't
little more
blame
of a
that
competitive fight.
as a really bad performance, but
Yeah.
I mean, as getting his ass kicked by
No,
Jamie Campbell.
he looked
I mean, Jamie
exhausted.
Campbell getting his ass kicked. I wouldn't classify that as he got his ass kicked. I would classify that as
A cardio
he just
problem.
did not look right in that fight. That's how I would classify that. 'Cause
yeah,
I
I
actually
wouldn't say
had
his cardio was.
after his first fight,
to
and he looked
snuff.
really sharp. He fought Dale Soapy, who actually just beat Juan Torres in one of our fights in Mississippi. Who Juan Torres was on ESPN on
Outside of the
Tuesday night.
No.
He was fighting a fight in Las Vegas.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he fought. He actually looked really, really good.
So that was that the first U.S. live boxing back?
I think it was last week.
Okay.
It was actually, I think it was 2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago. Top Rank, I think they're doing every Tuesday and Thursday on ESPN. It's pretty cool. You know, it's just, I can't get used to watching combat sports with no fans. It's tough. And
Yeah,
look,
it is.
we're on the opposite end of it. We have to make it happen, just like they had to make it happen. So we're going to have to make it happen. I don't love the atmosphere of it, but, you know, you have
Hey,
to
listen,
again, you got to pivot.
I've been in street fights and I've lost my fair share of street fights. But being in street fights and you hear your friends behind you,
So,
get up.
On
You know,
that note,
just
on that
having-
note, and I'm sorry to cut you off. On that note, yesterday we were talking to you,
Here comes the roast.
and I said,
Wait,
I don't know where
I
he's
said-
going with this, but I know I,
I
can
said-
He's
feel
got that look on his
I
face.
said,
I can feel
Rob,
the flames from the fire.
I said something about fighting, and you said I can fight. I got my nose broke 3 times.
Yeah.
Does that mean you can fight, or
Yeah,
does
I
that
can
mean
fight. I'm
or
not
does that-
good at
or
it.
does that mean you like getting in fights?
Now I can fight. I'm not good at it. There's a lot of things I like to do, and I'm not good at it, but I enjoy
How many
it.
fights have you been in non-intoxicated though? $1 million question.
It's funny because my dad used to say this all the time. Like, he would say, if you look like you can fight, if you look like a fighter, not if you look like you can fight, if you look like a fighter, you can't fight.
He didn't look like a fighter. He looked like a monster.
Who?
Marty, grandfather.
No, absolutely. But no, what I'm saying here is, it's funny because I was out a couple times and people would come up to me and they go, you don't look like a fighter. And he would get, you know how he was very gracefully abrupt. He would go, hey, if he looked like a fighter, he wouldn't be able to fight.
No,
That means he don't get hit.
the unfortunate when I was in the barn nightclub restaurant industry, we'd the college bar, a lot of people get rowdy, so you don't really want to fight patrons. You shouldn't be looking for fights. You want to try to.
I think you're one of those guys that makes them videos. The videos himself, shadow boxing and throwing kicks in the air and stuff like that in your bedroom.
Do I look like Charlie Z to you, man?
I think you would do that.
Big shout out to Charlie Z.
Yeah,
Charlie Z
Charlie
says
Z.
Charlie Z.
The fans are calling for Charlie Z to.
the fans are calling for Charlie Z for a bare knuckle fight,
The
man.
fans have been calling for Charlie Z for years to step up and fight. Did you see the one where he fought Deontay Wilder or tried to fight Deontay Wilder?
This guy has the biggest nuts on a man I've ever seen.
Undefeated.
The fact that you would call out anybody that weighs 100+ pounds more than you, virtually 100 pounds more than you, that's a professional boxer that gets paid to beat people up for a living is beyond me.
I gotta jump, guys. Take this over. I gotta jump. I got a important.
All right, we'll
call
be
that we
back
have
in
to
5
do.
minutes, folks.
So we're talking about.
Well, there was a
unlikely
feud with
banks.
Charlie Z and Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, but we're
Have
talking.
you guys seen the ratings, like the pound for pound rankings? Ring Magazine.
No.
Let me pull it up.
Is Tyson Fury in there?
I'm pulling it up. So this is as of March 21st, 2020. Obviously, nobody's fought, so you don't really need to update it. But number 10, Manny Pacquiao.
Oh, Pac-Man is still in the top 10 pound for pound. Wow. Who's number 9?
I heard there's talks or something going back and forth with Triple G.
Triple G
Pacquiao and Triple G.
Pacquiao and Triple G? How
Yeah.
does that weight even make sense?
I was going to ask you that question. Is that even a possibility? Would the fans would even?
Look, and at this day and age and this time right now, anything's a possibility.
Money talks.
Money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be a big money fight. Who wins?
Triple G.
Yeah, I got
Come on, man.
I got Triple G all day, man. Just because of the size.
But here's the thing:
difference,
is
yeah.
yes, absolutely, you have to lean that direction, but you cannot count Pacquiao out as He just had a devastating victory over Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman was touted to be one of the best pound-for-pound fighters around right now.
True.
And he beat
Very
him easily and decisively.
How many belts and weight classes has Pacquiao actually won?
He started at 108 pounds. 108, 112, 118, 126, 135, 140, 147, 154. No, he has 8. He has 8 world championships.
8 world championship.
A world
That guy
championship
is a
in
legend,
8 different
man.
weight divisions. But it's
An
crazy
exciting
because,
fighter,
look,
too.
it's
Exciting
different
fighter.
going from like 200 to 280 than it is going from like 108 pounds to 160 pounds. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Is Ring Magazine like the most respected ratings? Is that like
Absolutely.
that's like number one?
It is. It is.
All right.
It was bought by Golden Boy Promotions by Oscar De La Hoya, and then people thought that it was going to be a little biased, and then I think it got sold to another group because they didn't want it to be biased. And yes, it is the most respected. Other than BoxRec, kind of just does it by the record.
Right.
So I think it's the most respected.
Yeah, they actually have the guidelines here for
Of how it's
rating panel and championship policy. Anyway, number 9, Artur Beterbiev.
Yes.
He's a Russian, 15-0, 15 knockouts, 35th week on the list.
15 wins, 15 knockouts.
Yep.
Impressive. Good start.
Juan Francisco Estrada at number 8 from Mexico, 40-3, 27 knockouts.
Well, wait.
Doesn't say. Let me pull him up. Junior bantamweight. Triple G
6.
at number 7.
Triple G.
Oh, Triple J. Yeah.
His 281st week on the rating.
Where's he
Number
at?
6.
Where's he at? Where's Triple G
Kazakhstan.
at? Where's he? What's his next fight? Aside from a fantasy Pacquiao fight, is there
Well, there
anything
are-
in the works right now?
Well, they're also talking about him fighting Canelo again.
For a third.
Yeah.
I think does that sell?
I don't think a lot of people want to see that right now. I really
Yeah, I
don't.
don't- He lost pretty decisively in the second bout. And I was that surprised the hell out of me. Canelo I thought was
I mean, I actually think
Canelo looked human against Floyd Mayweather Jr. And
Yep.
then I thought Triple G would just dismantle him.
I actually think the fight you mentioned, Pacquiao versus Triple G, will sell big time. It'll
do
really
you
sell.
think Triple G lost some of that knockout? Little,
I don't.
age
They
getting
all-
to him a little
well,
bit.
you know it's funny you said that, Rob, because they say, all the old timers say, that the last thing to go is your punching power. The first thing to go is your ability to take a punch.
Okay.
And we did see him he gets hit a lot more,
Sure does.
and he's getting wobbled a lot more. So
That-
he
that-
hasn't been knocked out, but I mean he's getting rocked a little bit. So I think
That happened to Jones.
anything can happen
Roy
at
Jones
at
Jr.
any
at the
given
end
time.
of his career.
At any
That's-
given time, and it's funny because they say with fighters too, you get old overnight. Like one day you look sensational, and the next thing you look like you should have retired 10 years ago. It's crazy.
Father Time, man. Cannot beat that guy. He is undefeated. Mother Nature and Father Time.
Who's number 1 on the pound for pound list?
Yeah.
You want to skip right to 1?
Yeah, just give me number 1.
Canelo Alvarez.
And who's number 2?
Number 2, we go back. Lomachenko.
Lomachenko?
Lomo. Yep.
14-1, 10 knockouts.
They call him the Matrix. Look, I mean, he's unbelievable. You
His
can't catch
style
him.
is just,
You can't catch him. Actually, a local guy, Tevin Farmer, former world champion, world lightweight champion, or world junior lightweight champion, Tevin Farmer, here from Philly, good friend of
Fought
mine.
for us a few times.
Some of his fights
actually went out
a couple
and
years ago.
yeah, he was a sparring partner for Lomo for a while.
Was he?
Yeah. So on
He
that
actually,
note of pound for pound,
Well,
who's the
hold on,
best?
talk about Tevin for a minute. Didn't he get shot in the hand?
Tevin's a guy who started out with a very subpar career. I forget. I think he had like 3 losses. He was like 4-3, and then he was 5-3, and then he was 6-3. Then all of a sudden he was 20-3, and then he just kept winning and winning and winning, and he got his life right. He got with Mark Ciparone, who's now a pretty good boxing manager in the Philadelphia area. Great human being, really nice guy. He owns Rocco's Collision. He actually called me into the office, and we talked, and he wanted to get into managing fighters, and I said, don't get into managing fighters. Just don't do it.
Stay in collision.
I said you're
Stay
going
in
to meet
repairs.
more shady individuals doing this than anywhere else in the world. He said, Dave, I'm in the auto body business. He said, it can't be as bad as this. I said, trust me, don't get into boxing. He got into it. I saw him like 6 months later. It was great. He goes, Man, I should have listened to you. I never should have been in boxing. It's tough. But he did a great job with Tevin Farmer, and then Tevin actually left him and went on his own and did some great things. He won the world championship, defended it a few times. He did some smart things with his money. He bought a nightclub. I think he bought a bar. He bought some real estate. He's a good,
Who's he with now? Is he Top Rank?
He is with Matchroom.
Matchroom now.
Yep.
And what was his experience?
Oh, he's actually with Lou DiBella. Do you know Lou DiBella?
Yeah.
He's with Lou DiBella, but he fights for Matchroom for DAZN.
Yeah, he just fought on that.
Yeah, you're right. The Super Bowl
card.
weekend.
He
Yeah.
lost that fight.
You guys familiar with DAZN?
Yeah.
Great platform.
Cool platform.
Yeah, absolutely. Putting on some really talk about Canelo Alvarez and Anthony Joshua.
So, since we're talking about pound for pound though, best pound for pound fighter you ever saw box?
I've ever seen box?
You.
Roy Jones Jr. or Mike Tyson. I mean, they have to be in the running.
Dave, you.
Tyson in his prime.
Pound for pound?
In his prime?
One of the best pound for pound fighters you've ever seen?
He used to knock guys out every night, every time in the first round.
Ding ding.
I would.
How long was his peak though?
I don't think Mike Tyson was.
long.
I don't think.
How
Mike,
long was it? He got knocked out by Buster Douglas in 1990s.
No,
how long was
he was a champion. When he was
he
19?
he was the youngest heavyweight champ in history.
1920, something like that.
He was tremendous. He was a force. He was unbelievable. He was not the best heavyweight champion ever.
No,
So he definitely was not the best pound for pound fighter ever.
But
He was not.
For a 3 to 4 year stretch, yeah, he probably was.
Was he a better fighter than Muhammad Ali?
I think so. I don't think Muhammad Ali was that great of a fighter.
If you put Muhammad Ali at 20 versus Mike Tyson at 20,
What?
Dude, he couldn't even talk by the end of his career.
So that
Just
means
sat there
he
and
wasn't-
got hit until guys got tired, and then
What are you talking about?
he wasn't knocking guys out like Mike Tyson was.
No, he wasn't. But I mean,
I don't think the
and
intimidation
all
was
around.
there like Tyson.
Mike Tyson was a whole other breed of fighter. And
After a comment like that,
disowned?
I want to go take a DNA test.
Yeah.
you're going to get some hate for saying Muhammad
Wow.
Ali wasn't a great heavyweight.
No, he was a great heavyweight. I'm not saying he wasn't a great heavyweight, but I think Tyson in his
think he's
prime
overrated?
beat him.
Do you think Muhammad Ali's overrated?
Who wins in their prime, Mike Tyson or Muhammad
I just
Ali?
I don't agree with Muhammad Ali's
I don't know.
strategy.
Yeah.
I think
I didn't like.
I'll say it out loud. I think Muhammad Ali is overrated. I think his gift of gab is there with Conor McGregor. I won't say Conor McGregor is not a great fighter. I won't say Muhammad Ali is not a great fighter and one of the best fighters.
Imagine if pay-per-view was around for Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, the guy could speak, he could fight, he could back it up, but now was he a Mike Tyson in Mike Tyson's prime? Was he a Roy Jones Jr.? Roy Jones Jr. made people look like children in the ring in his prime. I mean, it was something that, that can never get duplicated. It's just crazy. He had the knockout power. He had the ability to keep his hands by his sides, which is probably not what you do as a fighter. And as you get older, you don't have that defensive ability and that speed to move your head and to evade those punches by fractions of an inch.
Sure.
To counter.
I kind of agree with you. I think that he was gifted more than any fighter that I've ever seen in my time. Roy Jones. I've never seen a gifted fighter like him.
Just a natural.
As I said earlier, his ability to take a punch diminished.
Sure.
I will say this though.
started
So
getting knocked
again,
out.
I'm younger than you guys. The most dominant fighter that I've seen is probably Floyd Mayweather. I mean, who's really come close to beating him in his career?
Floyd Mayweather.
Not Diego. Juan. It was Castillo.
There was
Jose Luis Castillo.
Yeah, there was a bout where he fought
Can
where
you punch that fight up?
it could have gone either way.
That was
That
it?
fight could have gone either way for sure.
But that's the only one. Look,
That's the
anyone that says Mayweather this or Mayweather that, look, was Mayweather the most exciting fighter in the world? No.
He knows how to play the game.
Was he one of the best?
Yeah.
He was one of the best fighter. He was the best fighter in his era.
Was he one of the best boxers of all times? It's
One
hard
of
to
the best
argue
boxers
against
of
it.
all time. Yes.
Absolutely. If you're a master at your craft,
Actually, I think he dropped Mayweather in this fight, or it was almost a knockdown, and then they ruled that it wasn't. But it was a tremendous fight. Tremendous fight. But I mean, look, he had one bad night, right? I mean, look, here's the difference. You go to your job. You're a waiter. You're a bartender. You're a bar manager. You have an off night. What's that mean? You make a drink a little too strong.
One bad night.
You have an off night. You have an off night in a ring. You can die.
Yep.
You
and
can die.
that's a loss. And to have 50 uncontested off nights is, yeah, I mean, that's
So and he had 50 on nights.
Exactly.
He degraded one
Every-
halfway off night.
every fight you go into. If you lose, you know that's your legacy.
Well, let's talk about. Do you remember when he fought Victor Ortiz?
I was thinking of that.
Remember that?
Yeah.
So
You know what, Ev? I'd rather you pull that one off.
let's see where Victor Ortiz got him into the corner and headbutted him. And a lot of people went like this. They said Floyd Mayweather suckered him. Suckered him. I mean, the guy said.
What does the ref say at the beginning of the fight?
What says
Protect
protect
yourself
yourself at all times.
Protect yourself.
Joe Cortez?
At all times.
And I think that it was.
I'm gonna get into the favorite
very
refs,
serious.
man.
He's trying.
I got some favorite
here it is,
refs,
Here it
too.
is. Here he's trying to apologize to him. Bang.
Two
Bang.
piece. Two piece.
Yep.
Yep. He was knocked out on the
It
first
was,
shot.
it was
though, I
funny
think.
because here's the thing in that fight. I'm not going to say that Victor Ortiz was going to win that fight or that he was winning that fight. He was super competitive in that fight. He was in that fight,
I love Joe Cortez,
and then he got
but
frustrated.
what was he doing? Like, why wasn't he looking?
Rewind that again, Ev. Rewind that again.
I think he was arguing with the fighters because they were getting into some dirty boxing. So
No,
it
he
started
wasn't
with
looking. He wasn't looking at. Watch, they're touching gloves. Touch gloves. Joe Cortez
What happened before
still
they?
not looking.
What happened before they touched gloves though?
Because I mean, it's,
You know-
in slow motion, it looks like he gave him time, but I mean, it's super slowed down. So I wonder what it looks like, full speed.
I mean, full speed. You can't even
Here we
see a
go, here's
Floyd
full speed.
Mayweather punch.
Let's look at where he headbutted him. Here it is. Right?
He had him, man. He was.
That's what I said.
That's the
He
most
was-
trouble I've seen Mayweather in.
Oh yeah. Right.
Why would he have done that? Why would he have done that? He was in this
He
fight.
was pumped up, man. He took one of Rob's pre-workouts.
That's right. Man.
And he headbutted him, and then everybody said Mayweather shouldn't have done this, but he shouldn't have been headbutted. Right?
I think what was better
I'm surprised
was
there wasn't a rematch, honestly, unless Mayweather was afraid of a rematch.
Larry Merchant
I mean,
when
there
he
was really no
interviewed.
reason
Here's
for
where
it.
he apologized. It's so quick it happened.
Can we go to the Larry Merchant interviewing Floyd Mayweather Jr. after that fight? I think that was his.
Was that fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Oh yeah, where he's like, "Fuck you, Larry."
Yeah.
Get dirty. I was victorious. If he want a rematch, he can get a rematch.
But did he get the rematch, folks?
You were in charge of the fight. You were aggressive and trying and taking advantage of what
You know what
saw as
I'm
a
gonna
flaw.
do? Because you don't ever give me a fair shake. You know that? So I'm gonna go and let you talk to Victor Ortiz, all right? I'm through. They put somebody else up and give me an interview. Talk
are
to
you
Victor
talking
Ortiz.
about?
What are you heard him. You never give me a fair shake. HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing. You ain't shit. You're not shit.
I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
You won't do shit.
I think that was the last time Floyd Mayweather fought on HBO too.
Yeah.
I think he went right to Showtime right after that. I don't know if
Two great
had
quotes,
to do with
man.
that or what, but it's funny because that's where Larry Merchant I feel like became like a pop culture meme almost. If I was
Pop
50
culture
years
icon.
younger,
Yep.
I'd kick your ass. But
And you don't know shit about boxing.
you don't know shit about boxing.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be fighting a Larry Merchant, 50 years ago. He's a little past his prime, past his time. Speaking of, I think we're going to be wrapping it up in today's episode.
Yep. Thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you leave us a comment. For now, I'm Dave.
I'm Rob.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Thank you everyone for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop us a comment below for anything you want to see next.